Hey everybody, welcome back. Week 5 NFL preview here at the comment section. So we're going to get going through these games. We're recording this Thursday night, just before the Colts and Pats kick off. Poker Guy, how you doing out there on the East Coast?
I'm excited, man. We were just talking before the stream started. I've been broadcasting inside of a tuna can, and I'm upgrading my studio, getting the blankets up, getting the foam up. So the one listener in Bangladesh, you're going to be hearing an improved audio. So look forward to that. I'm excited.
We're all excited for that. I mean, that's a monumental achievement here on the comment section. We're getting you out of that tuna can, get you out in the open, get some fresh air, and get that audio a little bit crisper. It's been a little soggy lately.
It's very soggy, and I apologize to the one guy in Bangalore.
Very soggy audio, very soggy tears rolling down the cheeks of every Colts fan after tonight. But guess what? We're a little short of that, 20 minutes short of game starting. And the rivalry, it's back on. It's back on today. Colts at the Pats. Pats 10.5-point favorites at home. 49.5's the over-under on that game. Andrew Luck, arm still attached to his body after 4 weeks, heads into Foxborough. I don't think he's going to get a very friendly welcome from Gronk, Tommy, and the rest of the boys. Edelman coming back this week. I don't think there ever was a rivalry, and I don't think that it's back on.
Yeah, agreed. You mentioned something just now with Gronk and Edelman being back on the field together. I read some statistic that they haven't even been on the same field playing the same game. In a very small percentage of the time, they're on the same field. So we're going to see how this offense lights up. And plus, we're going to see the birth and the metamorphosis of Josh Gordon. We're going to see how that goes. I'm kind of excited about Josh Gordon.
I'm crazy excited about Gordon. Like we had talked about, I mean, you get him, Edelman, Gronkowski, and I know they got Hogan and a couple other guys out there, but that's
Hogan's not a bad player, though. But you're right, though. You got Hogan out there. He's not terrible. He's no Eric Decker. So we're going to see. We're going to see some. We're going to see some exciting.
That guy couldn't catch a fucking pass his entire last 2 years in the league, and then all people did was shit on him, and then his hot-ass wife get pissed off on Twitter, try and stand up for him, but not a leg to stand on.
True.
And he's out of the league. He lasted about 2 weeks in New England, like every washed-up named wide receiver does.
He's just been riding those coattails from when he was, okay in Denver. He's just still on the coattails.
Yet another guy. He's on that Adam Gase, on that list of people that got extra jobs because Peyton Manning's Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm. And his forehead's
his gigantic
large.
7-head into Denver, got him the freaking Super Bowl ring, bought John Elway a little bit of time.
Let me ask you, is Peyton Manning at this game tonight?
I don't think that he is. I mean, he might, but I think if it was in Indy, I think he's going to be there. Foxborough, who knows?
Yeah.
I got Brady. He's lurking at the precipice of those 500 touchdown passes, same as Breeze. They're both, I don't know. I saw something today where they're talking about Drew Brees and him being, it's Brady, Breeze, and then I think 3 kickers are still in the league. Dawson, Vinatieri, and Janikowski. They're the 5 most tenured players in the league. I think Brady's still – he's not accelerated up that noodle arm list. He's looked good. He's thrown the ball real well. And, the Pats are they're going to take it to the Colts tonight. 10.5, that's a number I don't like. I have 9.5. I think I'm all over that. But 10.5, I'm still going to take the Pats here at home and the 10.5 points.
I'll take the Pats. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. Let's see what the coin says.
Oh, coin, where were you last night? You hanging out at Jim's house? We're about to find out. Ooh, must have been a falling out there.
Ooh, he's taking the Pats?
He's with the Pats. He's taking the Pats.
He didn't want to share the white powdery substance. He didn't want to share that. So the coin's still pissed off about that, I see. Yeah,
Jim ran short last night. You had to scrape everything out of that pestle at the end of it. It was the mortar. I don't know how that mortar and pestle thing works. I don't know which is the mortar, which is the pestle. I just know that Jim needs one of those things, as many Vicodins as he's crushing up on a daily basis.
Yes.
But
it's funny because his face is red. But let's move on.
Let's move on. Next game here is Jags at Chiefs. We got an unstoppable force, a movable object situation with the Chiefs offense versus the Jags defense. Chiefs 3-point favorites at home. Over-under on that one's 49. You got Pat.
This is going to be a
lead from that guy, Mahomes. 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, no interceptions. And, of course, the world lit on fire last weekend as he threw a pass with his left hand. Did you see that thing?
I did not hear about this. Oh, yes, I did. I heard about it a zillion times. It was impressive. I mean, it was kind of like a shot put kind of throw, but it did convert the first down. Somebody came out and said it wasn't that impressive. I did that shit in like 82. I don't know who it was, but
probably Trent Dilfer. It's probably Trent Dilfer.
It's Trent Dilfer. It definitely wasn't Trent Dilfer. That's for sure. But yeah, what can you say? He's got a fireball as a arm. He's got a cannon.
Yeah, they did a full-on flamethrower animation in ESPN. I was wondering what they were going to use, and they opted for the flamethrower. They went hard on that. Tessitore spent like an entire minute on the flamethrower thing. They're also trying to push this Showtime nickname on him. I'm not a fan.
I don't like it.
Doesn't seem organic.
I don't like it.
And while I've got the chance, I'm going to continue to shit on Booger McFarland. That guy he's ruining every Monday night. I mean, Jason Witten's coming out of his coma a little bit.
He's getting better.
Starting to participate in the game. You know, he's a pro. He's a pro's pro. He's going to get better at what he does. But that whole gimmick of Booger McFarland's little sideline cart and him just ruining the broadcast, that's got to end. I mean, they can't drag that into next year. They can't do that.
Just bring back Mike Tirico. Just bring back Mike Tirico, and all will be fixed. Bring him back.
Nah, Tirico doesn't fix anything because Tessitore's not the problem. Just get rid of Booger. Like, that's it. You don't need to add anything. That's it. Your solution's there. Addition by subtraction. Get rid of that fucking guy.
Wow, strong words. Very
strong words. That's how I feel. Strong words from Jalen Ramsey this week too. Talking some mad shit on Tyreek Hill. So that'll be a good thing to watch. He's like, yeah, the guy made the Pro Bowl as a returner. Guy, he did this as a returner specialist. And he's like, all right, yeah, he's
wrong.
Picking a little bit there.
Yeah, he's not
wrong. That's what I love about Ramsey. He's not wrong. He's not afraid to fucking pick a fight with people. And he backs it up every week.
That's the thing is I love shit talking. You love shit talking. Trump and Obama both like shit talking. But what's better than shit talking is backing it up. And Jalen Ramsey, he backs it up. That Rob Gronkowski game where he had like 2 catches for like 20 yards, he backed it up.
He's always out there playing hard. He's talking hard. He's playing hard. I'm a big Jalen Ramsey fan. This is a tough game to pick.
I think it's going to be a good game,
season
though.
Andy.
I think it'll be a
regular
good game.
Season Andy Reid. And we got Doug Marrone bringing the lunch pail into Kansas City. He's got that jar of mayonnaise. He's got that lid loosened up. He's ready to dip in there after the game and start enjoying some clogged arteries. But I don't know if that happens. I think we got a shaky performance from Bortles. I think the defense holds up enough. Fournette's hamstring, I don't know what the hell happened to that. Who'd have guessed that a muscle-bound 240-pound guy who never stretches apparently would have some injury issues? He's on like the Kelvin Benjamin soft tissue injury watch every week. I think actually, now I think about it, it wasn't actually a lack of stretching. Apparently Fournette went and partied with Cam Newton one weekend, and here we go. We got all these problems. Who'd have thought? Everybody would have thought that because everything in the NFL that happens wrong is Cam Newton's fault.
It's definitely Cam Newton's fault. My car, my air pressure's real low. It's definitely not my fault for not checking that. It's Cam Newton's fault. But I'm going to ask you a question here. The Chiefs' defense hasn't been that good. I saw a percentage. I wish I had it in front of me, but their drives, they're not that good as far as like stopping drives. People are scoring on them. Blake Bortles isn't as terrible as a quarterback when the defense isn't that good. I don't think the Chiefs' secondary is as good as we want it to be. So this could be a game that gets ugly for Kansas City. Now they do have Showtime on their team. So
They got Showtime.
So we're going to see. But I think this is one of those games that it's a must-watch game.
I do think we get our first Patrick Mahomes interception at some point. I'm not feeling confident enough about the Jags on the road. I'm going to take the Chiefs at home. I'm going to take them with the 3 points. Give me the Chiefs.
I'll take the Jags.
Taking the Jags, opposite sides of the fence here. Ooh, we got the home team. Coins with me. It's 2-on-1. Let's go, Chiefs.
A2 coin. A2.
A2 coin? A2?
Speaking of...
A2, Mad Mike Vrabel. A2?
A2.
Mad Mike Vrabel taking the 3-1 Titans into Buffalo. It's a 39.5 point over and under. Titans on the road are favorites. They're giving 5 to the Bills at home. Bills 1-3. 1 against Minnesota. tricking everyone. 3, bringing everyone back to reality.
No, just tricking you. Not tricking anybody but you. Let's get that all out there.
All right. Well, here's the deal. I don't think the Titans are that damn good. I know they beat the Eagles. I know they've squeaked by the Jaguars. You know, they beat the Dolphins during that really weird week 1 game.
That's
It
their
took 2
loss.
weeks.
That was
Is
their
it?
loss.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they beat the Texans.
Okay, yeah. Very, very little good happening in Texas these days.
But the point is that the Titans' defense is pretty good, and the Bills don't really have an offense. So
no, I mean Josh Allen has been terrible except for that one game. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to get against the Bills, and then they're going to turn this on the Titans. I don't have any reason to do this other than going against the way that I feel, because whatever I feel about the Bills has been dead wrong, and right now I feel like, hey, here's a shovel. Go ahead and start digging, assholes.
Yeah.
So this has got to be a come around game for the Bills. They're going to circle the wagons. I'll take the Bills +5.
I'm not taking the Bills at all. You're insane. I think you ate it. No, you spat it out, then you ate it, then you spat it out and re-ate it again. So you're
like an owl over here. I'm like an owl when it comes to the Bills.
You're going full
up and down.
13-year-old blind Maltese on me, okay, buddy? That's what you're doing. And you're insane and you're delusional. I'm taking the Titans. Are you kidding me? I'm taking the Titans.
You got the Titans, opposite sides of the fence. Hey, the Coin's got better sense than I do. He's with the Titans as well.
He's no blind Maltese.
Just remember, whatever I said about the Bills, don't listen to me. They got my number. Fucking A, I hate the Bills. Almost as much as Steelers fans are starting to hate Le'Veon Bell after their 1-2-1 start.
It's a weird.
So Le'Veon, he's waiting in the weeds. That Earl Thomas situation, people are like, hey, Le'Veon, good on you. Yeah. Good on you. I would really like to see Le'Veon pull one of those things that James Harrison was talking about. Just go in there, fake a soft tissue injury, get your money, be the bad guy, put your Heath Ledger Joker face on, and then just get out of town with a couple $1 million in your pocket and fuck Pittsburgh.
I agree. I think, but he's already made the statement, the public statement, like, you guys can hate me. I think it was on Twitter. He said, you guys can hate me. I'll be the one so you guys can point fingers at. I'll be the sacrificial lamb, being Mr. Victimhood, not knowing that Earl Thomas already fucked up his leg. I'll be the one who suffers. So he's not going to show up till like week 10, but we'll see. Steelers fans,
I'll put myself on the cross for you. I'll be up and,
it's whose victimhood is bigger, and that's what it is. And Bell, your victimhood is the biggest. You are the biggest victim of 2018. I will send my prayers to you, thoughts and prayers to you. But Steelers 1-2-1. Ugh, that ain't good.
1-2-1. The Falcons 1-3 here. So this is a do or die game for a couple of these teams. Not in the sense they couldn't recover and get to the playoffs.
It's just weird to see the Falcons at 1-3 because they're not a bad team. It's almost like they're getting through some weird losses. Like that Saints loss was close. The week 1 Eagles loss was close. It's just kind of weird to see them 1-3 because they're not a bad team. I mean, Matt Ryan, he's not on the noodle arm watch. He's not bad, but
he's had a good year. He's thrown 10 touchdown passes through 4 games.
10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It's not bad. And Julio Jones hasn't even had like a breakout game yet. Last week he's getting better. So who knows? Maybe the Falcons will take off.
This is all on the defense. That depth chart is in tatters. They're missing both of their safeties. That linebacker, 45, who is that? Deion Jones. I can't remember what his name is. But their stud middle linebacker, he's not on the field either. Over-under on this one's 58. Man, that's a big nut to lay. But you got to think there's going to be a ton of points scored in this one.
I agree.
Be interesting to see how pumped up the Steelers fans are, that early in the day with the team 1-2-1. We might start hearing – this goes against the Steelers. We could start hearing some calls for Tomlin's head.
I don't disagree with you. I'd hate to see it. Tomlin go. He looks so nice with that hat on. Hat on, not off. Okay.
Keep it on, Mike.
Keep it on.
Keep
Jesus.
that thing on. Have you seen LeBron's hair lately? I saw a really good.
Is it looking good? I hope it's looking good.
No, it's not. I mean, it's
darn
God. I mean, that guy's got everything in the world. He's 6'8", 6'9", 285, but he's got my hairline, and he's doing everything he can to fight to keep that. And he's won a lot of championships, but that's not a battle he's gonna win in the long term. He needs to pull an MJ and just shave that shit off.
He did that last year when he lost to the Warriors. He had like maybe a couple of days later, he had him on Instagram like doing like a crazy like, hey, it's me, I'm working out, I'm okay after this loss. And he was totally bald and he had this beard. And he looked awesome. He looked fucking awesome. That's the LeBron that I want. But that's not the LeBron that we're going to get because this man is not a quitter. He is not a quitter.
He's not a quitter. He's not a type of – he's going to keep working every day.
Totally.
He's going to get up. He's going to get in that cryogenic chamber for 20 minutes. That's not only for his muscles. That's for his hair. He's trying to prolong the life of his hair. And I got to wonder, though, if he's had so many plug operations that if he did try and shave it, he'd have that sort of golf course that just got aerated look going on. And he's got these little tiny holes everywhere. And maybe he can't pull that look off anymore. That's the number one risk. So as a man who's gone through the torture of losing his hair.
You're totally bald though, right? You're like,
yeah, I mean, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm not in the, hey, let's try and salvage this thing. I'm in the Bruce Willis shave that shit off club because it's already over, brother. That's what I'm on. I went bald. That when it comes to going bald, if you're a man out there that's going bald, I'm going to give a little bit of free therapy here out there for anyone who's got some thinning hair. You're lucky. You've got just a luxurious head of hair. That thing looks like it's there for the long term. So, God bless you on that, but not everyone's so lucky. Sure. So if you're out there, whatever age you are, I'm 36, I'm bald as fuck. So it happens to the best of us. And then it happens to, shitty people like me too. But here's the deal.
I'm so glad I'm never getting old.
Yeah. There's only a couple things you can do wrong when you're going bald. So here's a general sort of guidelines you want to think about when you start to lose your hair. You got two fundamental choices. You can go the Bruce Willis route, which is the classy route to go, or you can go the LeBron route. All right, so the LeBron route's very simple. You can get yourself just an insane amount of Propecia and then start jamming plugs in there everywhere and hoping you can feel. For you. No. Well, here's the thing about Propecia, and here's one of the things that, when you're going bald, it's a legitimate grieving process that you're going through, right? I have 5 stages of grief. You get each and every one of those, all right? Okay. Number 1, denial. So when I first started going bald, my grandma was the first person to call me out on it, right? She says, oh, you're looking a little thin up there, Bobby. And I'm like, fuck you, Grandma. No, I'm not. I'm too young for that. And then I go home and I'm like, you're okay, man. Yeah, she's grandma. She can't see anything. She's blind, losing her mind. So you're in that straight denial stage, right? And then all of a sudden, a couple months pass and you catch yourself in the mirror and you say, "What the fuck is that?" And you look a little bit closer and you say to yourself, "Oh my God, Grandma was onto something here. She was onto something." And then you get mad. It's like, why? How did this happen to me? And then you do the math and that whole thing about, oh, it's your the grandpa on your mother's side. That's what your hair is going to look like. No, I got fucking screwed on that. My grandpa died at like 80 with a full thick head of hair. And here I am at 36 with a cue ball on top. So I get angry about that, right? Then you get into the bargaining stage. And that's where LeBron is stuck. All right, so LeBron's stuck in stage 3, the bargaining stage. Maybe if I just take a little bit more Propecia. Or maybe if I just get a few more plugs right here.
Where do they get the plugs from? Like, where do they get it from?
Well, what they do. So here's the other thing. When you're in the anger and the bargaining stage, you will find yourself up late at night in those Bosley commercials. They'll catch your attention. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't been on the Bosley website and lusted after some of these results that are out there. Oh, man, look at that guy. He can wash that. That's his own hair. I wonder if that's achievable for me. So there's a couple different ways they do it. I think the newest one is kind of like a micro implantation. So they harvest the little hairs out of the back of your head. So the hairs on the top of your head the reason they fall out, it's because they're susceptible to DHT, dihydroxytestosterone.
Jesus Christ. I feel like I'm in a goddamn science class.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the whole thing here. Dihydroxytestosterone. They're sensitive to that. So that makes them fall the fuck out. But the ones that hang around, they're tough. And like these little side hairs down by the ears or whatever you're hanging on to, those are the ones that are resistant to that.
Those will be, from now on, they will be called the Benjamin Franklins.
Yeah, the Benjamin Franklin hairs. And then obviously all the extra hair that pops up on your back and shoulders seems to be resistant to that chemical as well. But you can't really put that shit on your head. So what it really comes down to, they got a couple different ways to do it, where they kind of go in there and they grab a couple little hairs at a time, and then they try and patch them on top of your head. And then they got kind of like a landing strip type thing where they like cut strips out of your head, and then they suck down and like pull the back of it together and then lay it on top of your head like it's sod or sod for a new football field. Jesus. And either one of those things, it's like, all right, if you commit to doing that, you are committing to be LeBron for a lifetime. Yeah. You got to keep fucking fighting. Because
you got to be snorting Propecia, right? You got to take that shit forever. No, you got to snort it.
Yeah, I mean, you're snorting as much Propecia as Jim is Oxycontin. Like, it's a daily thing, and you're getting fucked up on that. And you got to be careful, because I hear that shit can make your dick go soft. So if you're out there looking in the mirror and you're getting a little bit thin, thinking about Propecia, been on a few message boards, it'll say that shit'll get your dick soft. And that's the risk. Because here's the deal, man. You're going bald either way. Don't be bald with a soft dick. You can't take that risk. You can't take both those strikes. No woman wants you if you're bald, you got a soft dick. If you're bald and you can still carry around a nice hard cock, hey, you got a chance in the world. But you can't stack those two things on top of each other.
Just to me, it seems like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to put so much time and effort into it. Like, if they're taking pubes and replacing them and reimplanting them into your forehead, that's a problem. I'm not going to be able to get past the fact that there's pubes down on my forehead. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that.
I don't need nutsack hairs on the top of my head. I don't need them there. So then you hit that fourth stage. And the fourth stage, it's not the worst. I think really it's the bargaining stage that's the worst. And once you get through that, you hit the depths of depression. You've lost the fight, or you're losing the fight, and it's not going to turn out the way you want to. And you start to accept the reality of, fuck, man, I'm a bald guy.
You know what's crazy, though? Like, when I look at you and I like imagine you with hair, you're still repulsive to me with hair or without hair, you know? Yeah,
I mean, it's not much of an upgrade. Put a wig on a turd, it's still a turd. It still smells and still tastes bad. You still don't want any part of it.
Well, thank God you did that, man, because now that you're just like a normal human being, you've aged gracefully. You look like a fucking adult male. You don't look like a lizard, you know? Or like
and then the last part of that is the acceptance phase. And that is, it's okay. Like, it's tough going bald, but it's just fine being bald. You know, it's whatever. Yeah, like you said, I don't look any good with it. Don't look any good without it. Yeah. So it's not been much of an effect. It's okay. But if you're gonna do that, do it like Bruce Willis did. I want the Bruce Willis route. And
probably the better route.
General guidelines there are: the more hair you lose, the shorter you need to cut it. All right. Mm-hmm. So the more you lose, the shorter you need to cut it. I got two examples. One, I was over in Iraq the second time, and we had some civilian contractors on our base. And there was this guy. He had kind of longish hair, and I saw him we took a trip from our base to a larger base where they had like an actual big kind of mess hall area, and there was this contractor in there. And I've only seen it once in my life. He's the only guy I've ever seen it with. He had a comb up. All right. So instead of combing over, he grew a mullet out. So he had a mullet that was heavily greased that he would pull back up from the back of his head and then lay all the way over to like the front of his forehead. So it looked like he had bangs.
So you're talking almost like like an ice cream cone-esque shape, like where you're like when they put the ice cream on the cone, where it almost looks like a point.
Yeah, but I mean, he was laying it flat. So imagine somebody with long hair, but they're bald, but instead of letting it hang behind them, they greased it heavily and then flopped it over on the top of their head. And
Oh my
this
God.
guy's life, like this is such a part of his life, like his rhythm living his life. And this is all seamless. He would eat like 2 bites of his food. He'd set his fork down and then he'd run his palm from the back of his neck through his greasy hair and then readjust it onto the top of his forehead. You know, so no one would notice that anything was awry. So
Right.
nobody would notice. And yeah, everybody noticed. You don't want to be doing that. That's the only time I ever saw a comb up. And then the other thing with that, my company first sergeant, we were, you know, one of my buddies is with me. We just got off a mission. We're walking up these stairs. We're all tired as shit.
That's cool.
And this guy he was already bald. And there are a couple things that this guy didn't like. He didn't like smokers. He didn't like fat people. And he's not a big fan of gay people, right? So those are 3 things that he didn't like. But he also didn't like people that should be bald that weren't bald. And he made that very clear to me. So I was still in, bargaining depression stage. And I'm trying to hang on to some shit that I got going on up there. And I'm walking up the stairs and he turns to me like, "Hey, Fever." I'm like, "Yeah, First Sergeant." He's like, "Shave that little pussy patch of yours." I'm like, "Oh, shit." And my buddy's there with me and he just cracked me up and we're like 10 years later and he's like, "Hey, yeah, at least you shave that little pussy patch off the top of your head." But
yeah, man. At least you're not that one guy like still holding on. Sometimes you just gotta let it go.
you don't want to
Like
be
the
LeBron.
song Frozen. You don't want to be LeBron James.
You don't want to be
You don't
LeBron.
want to be Do you
And
want to be
Scott
LeBron
Van Pelt-
James, who's the laughing stock of like America at this point, or do you want to be Terry Bradshaw, fucking throwing touchdowns to his Steeler fans and making Steeler fans happy? Who do you want?
There's
to be?
nobody posting like pictures up on Twitter of Bruce Willis like making fun of the guy. Like, holy shit, look how bald Bruce Willis is. No one cares. He looks good like that. We've all got our bald idols. The Rock, God bless you. Jason Statham. Well, we all.
Oh yeah, come on.
Every white bald dude. I mean, man, Jason Statham. Man, thank you for existing, man.
He's the shit.
You are the one. Like The Rock and Jason Statham are the 2 bald guys that women actually want to fuck. So it's like, hey,
Bruce Willis too. What about Ed Harris, dude? Ed Harris from Westworld and that sniper movie.
Yeah, no, I mean Ed Harris at his best, obviously The Rock. I mean,
oh yeah, The Rock.
How can you say Ed Harris and not bring The Rock up?
Ed Harris, from Stepmom.
I think of Ed Harris, I think of The Rock, and then I think of Apollo 13. Those are my 2 Ed Harris.
Oh yeah.
He's great on Westworld too, but
I got him Enemy at the Gates, man. When he's like the German sniper that's coming in to kill the Russian snipers. That's a good one. A very underrated movie.
Yeah, great. A lot of great Ed Harris things going on.
Oh yeah, Vin Diesel. We got Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Vin
too.
Diesel. We got a few representatives out there.
There's a lot of beautiful bald brothers out there, but there's not a lot. Like, you don't want to be Danny DeVito. You don't want to be. You don't want to be like who's the guy from Zombieland with Woody
Harrelson?
Because he's got that patch in the front. You don't want to be the guy from Step.
Like Rob Corddry. That was a good one. He had like those like 3 little hairs up there.
You don't want to be the guy from. You don't want to be Phil Collins. With like the 3 or 4 hairs like coming back. It just doesn't look right. Just shave it off. Just shave it off.
There are more good-looking bald guys out there than there are combined wins for the Falcons and Steelers. It's a tough one to pick. I'm going to think the Falcons get things right. Steelers start to spiral downward. I'm going to take the Falcons and the 3 points.
I'm going to take the Steelers just because we've been going back and forth. But this is an interesting over because this is going to get a little ridiculous. I think this game is going to get out of control real quick. We're going to see. What does the coin have to say about this?
Coin's got the away team, so the coin's on the Falcons with me.
Nice. I don't like the coin, man. Coin's been fucking saboteur over here.
He's been a contrarian since the beginning of this.
God, I hate the coin.
This is
What's the next game, man?
This is an
Talking
interesting
Packers,
line
Lions
on the
right
next game for the Packers and Lions. So this is a pick 'em. I don't, it's the Packers at the Lions. Over unders at 51. It's a pick 'em. And
so for all those gambling noobs, what does a pick-em mean, and why should we be interested?
well, generally, if you're the home team, you're gonna get a 3-point favorite. You're getting 3 points from Vegas. So if Vegas says to themselves, hey, we've got 2 even teams here, they're going to put the line at -3. So that Falcons-Steelers game, that's -3. That's telling you that people in Vegas think the Falcons are just as good as the Steelers. Now, this pick-em, it says that means the Packers are 3 points better than the Lions. And the reason that's interesting to me is I think the Packers are much more than 3 points better than the Lions. So I'm going to take the Packers at the Lions. And I think that very early on, the heat's getting turned up on Matt Patricia.
Well, the heat's been on Matt Patricia. It is his first year, though. I don't really know. I don't think they're going to fire his ass.
Well, he can't
or
get
anything.
fired, but still.
Yeah, they're going to fire him, but there's going to be a little bit of a fallout. Before the season started, there was a bit of a fallout. People thought that he was trying too much to be like Bill Belichick, when deep down inside, he's like Bill Belichick's wife, where he's kind of like the opposite. He's kind of like the cool guy, Yeah, you know what? I will sit down with the bros and share these mashed potatoes with you guys because I'm a cool guy.
I'm cool.
But he's not. He's cool, but now he's kind of adopted the Bill Belichick. I'm going to hold the clipboard and just stare at everybody and not fist bump children. And that's not the person Matt Patricia is.
Just keep
so
ghosting
he's kind
those
of had
kids,
that fallout
man.
already.
Keep ghosting
Exactly.
them.
So for this one, I'm definitely going to take the Packers. I don't see how you could take the Lions in this. I really don't.
I mean, Rodgers is healthy. They're going to get on track offensively. The Lions' defense is terrible. Over-under on this one's 51. I'm liking the over on that. It says what? We need 26-25 as the final. Pretty reasonable, but either one of these teams could score 30 points and help get you there. Let's see what the Coin's got to say about this. Coin's with us. He's on the Packers. We're going to triple up on them.
Yeah. If you know 3 intelligent sports analysts are telling you to do it, you just got to do it.
Get the wallets out there. That's got to be something to bet on if all 3 of these great minds are unified in their opinion on that.
Get those Bitcoins ready. Moving on, Sunday, 1 p.m., we got Broncos-Jets.
Broncos and Jets. We're going to blast through this one. What a disgusting turd fest. This is a pick 'em at the Jets. Broncos 2-2, Jets 1-3, over under 42.5. Darnold, we're going to get probably at least 4 interceptions in this game. Keenum's got 6 already. Darnold's got 5. There's going to be a lot of heavy pressure from the Broncos. Jets. That home crowd advantage in New York, whether it's the Jets or the Giants, they might as well put some fucking tarps on some of those seats because that's how Nick Saban, he ain't happy if he's coaching the Jets or the Giants with how shitty their participation is.
Agreed.
I don't like Case Keenum. I don't believe in him. He's faking it. I'm taking the Jets as a pick 'em.
I'll take the Broncos here. I will say this one thing, though. I think we all saw the end of that Chiefs-Broncos game. Case Keenum had Demaryius Thomas open, wide open.
Well, he had it that second to last play of the game.
He had him. That should have been a loss for the Chiefs, and he just fucked it up. And you should – come on. You're like a 5th-year, 6th-year veteran. You should – or more than that. Maybe he's like a 7th year in the league. You should be better than that. You shouldn't be overthrowing that. Maybe he just got too excited. Maybe he was too erect. I don't know what it was, but it just was the classic Case Keenum. And
I think hopefully his wife's gone over the film with him there and got things corrected. Agreed. And that way he can better anticipate that throw, read the coverage a little bit better, set his feet square up, and deliver a better ball. We'll see how it goes this weekend at the Jets. Coin is with me. He's got the Jets as well. I'm looking at the over-under on that. I'll take the over. And I think if a few points get scored off of turnovers here, I think that's a little bit higher scoring game than initially thought. Giants at the Panthers. Next game to talk about. Panthers 6.5 point favorites at home. Over under on that's 43.5. Cam Newton, he's going to do something that he's going to outrage people, be it before, during, or after the game. But I think it's going to be his jubilant after the game press conference, because I don't see any way the Giants go in there and put an early morning whooping on the Panthers. I can't see that happening. Barkley hasn't done much. Beckham, I mean, he's averaging about 80 yards a game.
He's been weak this year. He's been real weak. He's almost, when you watch him play, he's kind of he's just really thin and he just looks small to me. Like you just have to put a hand on him and he's going to have a hard time participating in the game.
Well, talking about weak, that's every pass that gets thrown to him fluttering through the air. Right. Eli Manning.
Weak plus weak equals weak.
I mean, here's a question. If you're the Giants, how much are you just beside yourself that you didn't get any of these quarterbacks? You got Barkley, that's fine, but people are stoked about Darnold despite his ups and downs. Baker Mania is on full effect. Rosen's looked very serviceable so far. I don't think you're upset if you didn't reach for Josh Allen, though. I think that's the one. All right, we'll take Barkley. We'll take Barkley there.
We'll take Bark Dog.
We'll take the Bark Dog.
Agreed.
I'll take.
But you know what it is?
In
the Giants fans are Giants fans. New York sports is New York sports. Those guys, they eat, breathe, they live, and they shit the Manning. So they're not gonna say no to Eli Manning. Do you see how pissed they were when they sat him last year? How pissed off they were. And, that just kind of resonates in what the decisions that they make. They're not going to get rid of Eli Manning. They're going to drive they're going to drive that 96 Celica into the ground before they get a new quarterback.
It's not happening. I'm not going to pretend that cost Ben McAdoo his job. 2 years of complete incompetence is what cost him his job, but that didn't help him keep it. That definitely didn't help him keep it. Like I said, I got the Panthers here and the 6.5.
I got the Panthers too.
We're doubled up on the Panthers. Coin's got the Giants. Another classic mistake by the Coin. Here's another classic mistake, thinking that the Dolphins were any good. I didn't make that mistake. Dolphins 3-1 at the Bengals, also 3-1. Bengals 6-point favorites. Over-unders at 48.5. Good Andy showed up last week. That was good to see. Bengals played a thriller. This will not be a thriller. This will be another Miami beatdown. Don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. Guess who's still the quarterback for the Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill. Guess who's still the coach, Adam Gase. And, oh, yeah, by the way, Ross still owns the team. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything positive. Here comes the slide back into the basement. Low and uncatchable. Here it comes again. I'll take the Bengals and the 6 points.
I'll take the Bengals, and we'll move on here in a second. Let me just say one thing. It doesn't take a lot of film to figure out how to beat Ryan Tannehill. It really doesn't. 100 yards with 1 interception. I think that was his stats last week. I'll say that again. 100 yards and 1 interception. That's all he was able to produce against a Bill Belichick defense. I'm not saying Marvin Lewis is a good coach, but I'm saying he's been around long enough to know how to beat the Dolphins, so I'm going to take the Bengals here.
We're doubled up on the Bengals. I don't know. Is it too early for a QB controversy? Do you put Brock in there? And see what he can do?
What do you want? Do you want herpes or do you want genital warts? It doesn't matter. Either way, you're screwed.
You're not getting laid either way once you pull down your pants and people see that festering boils all over everywhere.
Is that cauliflower? What is that shit?
Oh, that's so gross. That's so gross, but not as gross as the Dolphins quarterback situation. Let's see what the Coin's got to say. Coin's on the home team here. We are tripled up on the Bengals.
Get your Bitcoins ready, boys.
Get your Bitcoins ready. Get them ready. Get that offshore account going, and let's make some money that we're never going to be able to get back out of it. They're not giving you any more money. They're not giving you your winnings back. I don't know, because I've never accrued winnings to the point where I've been able to withdraw them from an account. I just keep making deposits over and over. But I gotta assume.
They keep taking my deposits, though. It's so weird. They keep taking my deposits.
But I
don't get it.
Yeah, I gotta assume that if I ever won any money, I'd never see it. But we'll
Speaking
see.
of never winning anything, let's talk Browns Ravens.
All right, Browns at +3, underdogs at home, over under 45.5. I don't know. I mean, we got Joe Flacco, Baker Mayfield. I'll take Baker over Joe. But we got the Ravens defense. And Terrell Suggs, I don't know how long that guy's been in the league, but he's like that Perry guy from Kansas. I don't know if you remember him, but he seemed like he was at Kansas for about a decade. And you're saying, oh, man, how's that guy been there for so long? feel the same way about Suggs. I don't know how long he's been in the league, but he's torn his ACL. He's smashed every part of his body. The guy's a machine, and he's going to be coming at Mayfield. And this is one of those situations where, all right, last week we had, Raiders of the Browns, high-scoring game. So, hey, we got Todd Haley barking at Williams. And I think this is one of those games where the offense really struggles, the defense shows itself well, and then we get Williams coming back at Haley, and we are right on track for that Week 7 sideline fist fight.
It's only a matter of time, and I'm excited for that. I just want to see Baker Mayfield play more. That's what I'm more excited about. I'm more excited to see him just kind of play some more games. I was a little unhappy about the Raiders win last week, and Baker wasn't able to do the Macarena on the sidelines like I had originally hoped. But this is game I'm hoping he'll be able to deliver. I'm going to take the Browns on this one.
You're on the Browns. I mean, smart money's on the Ravens. I'm going to put my money where the smart money is. I'm going to take the Ravens in the 3.5. And the coin's with you. Coin's on the Browns. We'll see. We'll see, you two. I'm not gonna get too excited. I mean, you got Joe Flacco, so that's a wild card, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Ravens. And
I'm ready for some Baker Mayfield Macarena. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Fortnite dance, whatever that guy's doing. Plant a flag, talk some shit. I love it all.
Oh, Raiders, Chargers. Sorry, Raiders fans, you guys are not moving to Vegas. It ain't happening anytime soon. The lowly Chargers still living out in San Diego.
Oh, no, they're in L.A. They're in L.A. now.
Yeah, they want to be in San Diego, but they're in L.A. You got these two teams that are so loyal to their fan bases. I really can't say too much about
the Raiders don't even have anywhere to play next year. They're sitting here 4 games into the season, and they don't know where they're going to play their 2019 football. So Sam Boyd Stadium, that's the UNLV stadium. They just released a story the other day. They're like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, they said that they're not even going to Vegas until 2020, or not before 2020. So that means 2 seasons are coming up, and they don't have a place to play. Are we talking StubHub here? Are we talking the StubHub Arena possibly?
Well, that was actually one of the things that got thrown around when they spend a year in L.A. And the thinking is there's going to be a lot of resistance to that because then, what are all
That's bullshit.
The Chargers might lose 3 of their 15 fans to the Raiders. So they're not going to be down with that. The other thinking was they could maybe get a lease at the Niners stadium. That seems like the most realistic thing.
They should move him to St. Louis. They have a stadium there. They should move him to St. Louis for a season. And who knows, the Raiders might stay.
No. I got the option to move to Las Vegas right now, and I'm in St. Louis. That 0% chance that ever happens.
There's that market is just gonna blow up, dude. That Las Vegas. I mean, for whatever reason, people love going to Vegas and love drinking alcohol, and
they rallied around that hockey team real quick.
The Knights. Oh yeah.
I mean, they gave them a reason to. I think they made the Stanley Cup final. They gave them a reason to, but the people in Vegas are ready. And I'll tell you what, this Chargers game, there are a lot of Raiders fans in the LA area. This is going to be one of those true road home games for Phil Rivers. He better have that silent count ready. Chargers are.
Better leave the kids at home.
Yeah,
better leave those kids at home.
Yeah, go ahead and leave the second band at home, Phil. Just bring the oldest kids to this one because the young ones aren't going to be able to handle that. Chargers 5-point.
Somebody's getting stabbed this game. There's always like a Niners-Raiders stabbing. This is that game this season. The Raiders at Chargers. Somebody's getting stabbed.
There you go.
Not a fatal stabbing, but somebody's getting stabbed maybe in the ribs or something,
Yeah, and the over-under on stabbings 1/2. Poker Guy's firmly on the over here. He's on the over. Plus 220 odds. He's going to take that. I'll put money on that as well. Chargers 5-point favorites, over-under 52.5. I don't like either of these teams. I'm gonna go with the Raiders to keep this close and cover that 5 points.
I'll just follow you. There's really not much to say about this game other than somebody's getting stabbed.
Someone's getting stabbed. Coins on the Chargers. I might stab the coin right now if he keeps acting up like this.
Fucking Momo.
So moving on to the afternoon set of games. I guess we're already on there. We got Sunday one at the latest game kicking off our feature game. Rams at the Seahawks. Over-under is 50.5. Seahawks are getting 7 points at home.
Oof.
The one thing I saw about this, there's some dude that came out on Twitter and he did some study on the
I
Seahawks
think I know what you're gonna
right
say.
tackle, and he's like, if this guy's feet look like this, he's like, you can guess correctly 85% of the time what the play's gonna be. And I don't know shit about that, but that seems like a bad thing. It seems like a very bad thing if you're trying to run an NFL offense.
I am not an offensive coordinator, but if somebody like they can just go on Twitter and just analyze your entire offense, that's not a good thing. So Scott Linehan, time to get a new job, buddy. Is that the offensive coordinator? No,
I think
it's
he's
not
in.
Scott Linehan.
He's I think what's his name? Brian Schottenheimer.
Schottenheimer, yeah.
Is up there.
He's a yes man.
He's
a yes man. He's just Pete Carroll's buddy. He's the guy that's pissing off Russell Wilson, not the right guy to piss off. We'll see. I'm not expecting much from the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks, they've had their fun. They're at 500, 12th man. They're gonna be there. They're gonna enjoy their little game, but it's gonna be over. It's gonna be downhill from here for until they play the Cardinals, of course.
Yeah, until they get another get-right game with the Cardinals.
Right, but they're going to have a hard time, and this is going to be I think the Rams are just going to steamroll them.
Yeah, not to mention they're a little bit thinner in the secondary this week. I don't know if you're aware, but one of their players got injured last week, and he ain't gonna be in the lineup this week ever again. He's officially done as a Seattle Seahawk, Earl Thomas.
That's the last time we were going to see him in a Seahawks jersey. That's for sure.
Yeah, get the black patches out, and let's honor Earl. Let's do this for him. But, they got a backup plan for him. Sean McVay, man, people can't get enough of sucking this guy's dick for what a genius he is. He's bringing his tightly woven beard, his tightly trimmed beard into Seattle. I think he's going to pick apart that defense, and the Rams are going to steamroll him.
What does the coin have to say about this?
Coin's with us, so we got all three of us football experts siding with the Rams. You can go ahead and lock that up.
Get Ethereum. Get that Ethereum ready and get ready to lose it.
Yeah, you can lock that up. All right, Cardinals at the Niners. Over-unders 40. Niners given 4 points at home. CJ Beathard, if he gets applesauced again, I'll be interested. Other than that, I could not be less interested in this game. Get it off my TV. Get it away from my eyeballs. And get it off of this podcast. I'll take the 49ers given the 4 points.
I'll take the Niners. No, I'm not going to take the Cardinals. I'm not convinced. I'm sorry. I'm taking the
Can't
Niners.
do that. Win a game first. All right. Coin, he's starting to get into some good sense mode. He's with us on the Niners.
Got another trifecta? Nice.
I feel like this game, other than that Pittsburgh-Atlanta game, this is the biggest game of the week. The Vikings.
No, it's not. Jags-Chiefs. Jags-Chiefs is going to be big, too.
That's big, but I don't think that affects people's playoff chances or seeding or much like that. That's a great preview game, but even if the Jags come out of that 3-2, they're still sitting pretty to make their way in the playoffs. Obviously, Chiefs are undefeated. Eagles are sitting
fine. You're right.
Yeah, you're right. You're cool. I'm not. You're good looking.
Fan.
I am incredibly ugly. Little bit,
we all are, but it's okay. We're all pink on the inside.
We're all pink on the inside. Eagles hosting the Vikings. Eagles 3-point favorites. 46 is the over/under on this one. This is a big game. This is a big game for the Eagles. It's a big game for the Vikings. It's a big game for all wild animals in the path of Mike Zimmer's Escalade to and from practice. 1-2-1 for the Vikings. They follow 1-3-1 with the Bears doing what they're doing. Packers, if they win, they're going to dig themselves a real deep hole. And I'll tell you what, like I said, I don't want to start any controversies here, but there's no way a Nick Foles-led Eagles team loses this game.
Are you kidding me? Wrong.
I'm not saying Wentz is going to lose it. I'm just saying there's no way BDN brings the Eagles in, lets the Vikings come in and take this thing away.
So let me get this straight. You want to start Nick Foles. If you're the coach of the Eagles, you're going to put Nick Foles at the driver's seat.
You know what they should do? They should do last week the Bears did that thing where they had Case Keenum. And not Case Keenum. They had Chase Daniel and Trubisky in the game. Did you see that on the goal line? They did a double QB package. They just did a double QB package. They should work some of those in where they got Foles and Wentz in the game at the same time. Because, there's nothing.
I'd watch that for entertainment value.
They should
You could see how you could really be able to time how slow Nick Foles is going to be moving.
They should run Foles on one of those quick pitches to the corner just to see it. I just want to see it. See him lumbering towards the corner.
That might be the end. That might be the end of Nick Foles.
That could be the end of good sense everywhere if they tried some bullshit like that. But crazy.
I'm not a Philly guy.
He'd do it.
Oh yeah, he might do some little razzle dazzle.
They call it Nicky Nicky.
About this.
They'll call it Nicky Nicky.
They'll call it the Nicky Nicky. They'll call it the Philly Especial. They got all kinds of crazy names, but it'll be interesting to say the least. I'll tell you what though, Vikings D. What has happened to their defense? Their defense was so good last year, and I don't know if it's injuries or what, but their D has kind of fallen off. I mean, you tied the Packers, for God's sake.
Yeah, they're getting cooked pretty hard back there, and I don't think that it gets any better this week. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout, but I'm going to take the Eagles at home with the 3 points, given the 3.
I'd take the Eagles, and I think this is going to be a big problem for the Vikings moving forward. I think this game is going to really be a tough one to have to. It's going to be a tough one for them to lose.
It's a tough one. It's going to be a tough loss, and then people are going to start shitting all over Kirk Cousins. But that kind of sets the world right. You can't have too many people in support of Kirk Cousins. That's not going to.
It's called evolution.
It's
called evolution.
And then, of course, the coin. He's not in support of Kirk Cousins either. He's on the Eagles with us.
Wow, we got some trifecta. Yeah. I like it.
Moving on to the Sunday night game. I don't think that this is one of the most important games, but this is going to be a fun game to watch, particularly if the Cowboys are losing. And because they're 2-2 and they have optimism after last week's win against the lowly Lions. Now, the Texans haven't been good so far this year, but Watson, he was out. He's getting his sea legs back under him. He's way better than Prescott. I'm tired of, I get it. Some people are on him. Some people are off him. I'm off of Prescott. I don't think he's that good. I do think Zeke is that good, but I don't think the Cowboys have enough to go into Houston and get a win. I'm going to take the Texans, give them the 3.5. I think they potential for a steamroll here.
I watched a video the other day, and it just kind of broke down Dak Prescott and his decision making. And it really scared me because there was a lot of opportunities where he could have converted first downs. He could have made game-ending touchdowns, continuing drives, but he didn't make those decisions. I don't know why. I'm not a quarterbacks coach. I'm just some asshole with a podcast nobody listens to. So I'm a little
there's those guys in Sweden
scared.
that are all eating this shit up. So don't you put yourself down like that, poker guy. Don't do that. You're better than that.
I am better than that, and I'm happy that you said that because I just got this sick IKEA table and it's been doing me good. I paid like $30 for it, and it's the shit. It's like the best table.
I'm pretty sure people in Sweden.
If you're in Sweden,
I'm pretty sure those people want to fucking stab you every time you say that. They're like, we're more than IKEA, you American asshole.
I gotta come and check you guys out. Me as a stupid, dumb American, I don't know much about the world, but I do know that IKEA is right around the corner, and it is awesome. So for now, I like IKEA, a.k.a. I like Sweden. But going back to things I don't like, Dak Prescott, crazy his decision-making. It's actually pretty piss poor. I'm hoping that Deshaun Watson can have a good game here. Because if he can have a good game, it might be able to fix Bill O'Brien's career. But if the Texans come out with a loss, like they're 1-4, I think those burners they're on start giving them the shovel. It's over, Texans. But we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. I'm on the Texans. You're on the Texans.
I'm on the Texans with you. Yeah.
Coins. He's on the Cowboys. He's partying with Jerry and Jim. They got a suite over at the Hilton, and there's some crazy shit going on in there. Last game of the week.
You know who's not in the skybox right now?
Who's that?
Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay.
He's in the limo still, passed out. He'll wake up for the third quarter, though.
Somebody get Jim up here. We got to get him on the camera at some point.
Can somebody give him some Pepto-Bismol for the love of God? Just come on, just a little Pepto-Bismol, please.
Yeah, Jim's personal assistant always has smelling salts available. The last game of the week, Redskins at the Saints. Saints 6.5 point favorites. 52.5 is the over/under on this one. Yeah, we got a couple things going on here. We got Drew Brees closing in on that 500 touchdowns, closing in on the NFL passing record.
Pretty cool.
Kamara, he's the man. But my favorite player in this game is Hadrian. I don't believe in timeouts. I don't believe in CTE. And I don't believe in round earth Peterson. That guy, give him the rock. Let him just bash into people. And I think he can keep this game pretty close if they can control it. Give him 42 carries. I want to see Peterson with 42 carries and having to sit on the golf cart getting his way off the field and then talking shit in the locker room about how if he'd only had the rock 2 or 3 more times, they would have won the game. That's what I want to see.
There's only a couple things that's guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and what Adrian Peterson watches before the game, and that's The Rock, starring Ed Harris and my boy Nicolas Cage and my boy Sean Connery. That's it. He's watching it. He's enjoying it. Give him the fucking rock.
After every first.
With that being said, the Redskins, they've only beaten the Colts. They've lost. No, I'm sorry. They've only beaten the Jets. They've lost to the Colts. For God's sakes, they only beat Arizona. They were able to beat the Cardinals and Green Bay, but they lost to Indianapolis. I'm not really expecting much for the Redskins. So unless you give Adrian Peterson the rock 50 times, you guys are not going to win. I'm going to take the Saints on this one.
Maybe they do. That's what I'll be hoping for. But I got to take the Saints. I mean, they're going to have a rowdy crowd. They're going to have, a Breeze sort of love fest. And the Redskins D is pretty legit, but I think that the Saints are going to be able to put up some points, and I think they'll cover that 6.5. So I'm going to take the Saints and the 6.5.
There is a little bit of a danger here, though, because we do have Alex Smith playing against a Saints D, which is pretty terrible. So Alex Smith, he loves terrible defenses, so we're going to see how this plays out.
We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how the whole week plays out. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to go get our eyes in front of that Patriots-Colts rivalry, see what's going on as far as that goes, and then looking forward to the rest of the NFL weekend. You all enjoy that. We'll see you back here Monday morning for our Week 5 NFL recap.